everybody. It's been so long. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I need to think of a better intro than that because I feel really awkward when I say that. But anyways, hi. I haven't made a video in so long because I'm really inconsistent. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some very exciting things like college. And today's video is going to be about going to SVA. I'm super excited because one, it's in New York. I'm so excited. It just sounds crazy to say I'm going to an art school in New York, and it's all because of God, all by the grace of God. That's why you gotta pray. That's why you gotta, be faithful to Him, because then He'll be faithful to you. But yeah, I'm just super excited. So pretty much what I'm going to talk about is how I got in. I might show my portfolio, or that might be a separate video, like a portfolio tour, if you want to see that. Like some tips to get into schools, because this SVA wasn't the only school that I got accepted into. The new school, I got accepted into SVA, I got accepted into Emerson, and I got waitlisted on Pratt. I really wanted to apply to NYU, but one, it's really expensive. Two, the process to apply was personally, I found it really confusing, and it was really difficult. There's a lot of steps, but I think they do that on purpose because since it's such a high demanded school and people obviously want to go into that, they try to make it a little bit more difficult to kind of wean out the people that really want to go and really don't. And I really did want to go, but it's also a lot of money just to apply, and they wanted this test to prove that I spoke English and stuff like that. And that test was over $100. And it's also really hard when you don't have a guidance counselor to help you apply. Okay, so my personal opinion, since I went to a community college right after high school, it does save you some money, but it's also more difficult because you're more on your own. Versus if you were to apply to college, let's say, during your senior year, you have guidance counselors to help you. You have those tools to use, so you have a better chance into getting into schools. You have the teachers there to read your essays. You have more teachers to write recommendations for you. So I feel like the process is so much easier when you do it during senior year. Versus if you go to community college, you'll be saving money, but also another thing is scholarships. You get a lot more scholarships in your senior year of high school than you do if you go to community college and then transfer. So honestly, I think there's more pros to going to a 4-year college right after high school than going to community college and then transferring, but that was just my personal experience. So, if I could redo it, I would have just stuck to applying to colleges right after high school. But then again, I didn't think of these colleges until now, so who would have knows what would happen. But either way, I'm really grateful that I got accepted into schools that I did. I was really deciding between the new school and SVA, but because my major is film and that is what I'm most passionate about. As you guys know, I love fashion and fashion design, and maybe one day I'll have my own collection, who knows. But I am leaning more towards pursuing film. That's something that I really want to do. I want to direct, and I really want to write, screenplay scripts for movies. So the new school couldn't provide that for me. Not saying that's not a good school, but for film in particular, if that's something that you want to do, I wouldn't recommend it, because even they said it themselves, they don't have, I forgot the words that they use. Oh, traditional. They don't have a traditional film class. They just offer they offer like a couple classes that cater to film, but they don't necessarily have a film program. So, but they have other schools that they're partnered with that have film programs, so maybe you can look into that. But if you were to specifically look into film and directing and whatnot, I don't think the new school will be the best for you. New school is definitely more for design, such as fashion design, or interior design, and like web design, stuff like that. But I also heard that their fashion courses are really intense, really competitive, and a lot of people have dropped out because it's just so much work. But I also heard that, the people that stuck through, like, they get a lot of amazing opportunities. So I don't know, but I'm happy with the decision I made. I will be dorming, which wasn't my initial decision, because I wanted to get an apartment instead, but things didn't really work out the way I planned. So my backup is dorming, which I'm still excited about, but I'm just a person who loves my personal space. And if you could see my room right now, it's not looking too hot. And that's just the way I work. Like, I just have my stuff everywhere. And then I just get these random bursts of energy, like at 3 a.m. or something, to just clean my whole room. But then the next day, it just goes back to the way it was. So I have a lot of art supplies everywhere, sewing supplies everywhere. Like, that's just how I am. That's just how I work. That's just my space. So the fact that I'm gonna have to share a little cubicle with, like, I don't know how many other girls, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, where am I gonna put my stuff? Like, I like my space, But we're gonna be positive about this. So, yeah. Okay, so the first topic. I really like the lighting here in this bathroom, so we're gonna continue the video. No, we're not. It's a mess in here. Yes, we are. Okay, so, I wrote notes so the video wouldn't be awkward like this. But here we are, so I should probably look at the notes I wrote. 1 second. Okay, so the first thing I wrote down was, how do you get accepted into art school? Well, I literally had a whole speech going on in my head, and then as soon as I went to go say it out loud, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. So the first thing I would say is apply, right? First step, apply to as many art schools as possible, because the more options you have, the more opportunities you have to get into those schools. So with that being said, the more schools you apply to, the earlier on you're going to have to start the application process, because applying to schools is a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort. There's a lot of essays, a lot of late nights, and a lot of crying. So there's that. But if you are going to be applying to the same major for every school, it might be a little bit easier, because you already kind of have the base of that. Like, you already have essays right now, so you can just kind of change the names of the school in the essay and add some details about the specific school that you're applying to. And that's another thing. Like, when you're applying to schools, really do research on the schools. Like, don't just look at Google images and be like, wow, the school's really nice, or just hear from people that this is a good school. Like, really do a lot of research, and their websites are going to be your best friend, because the more specific and little details that you add in your essays, the more it shows that you're interested in the school. Like, you're actually interested in that. They see that you're doing research, such as one of the details I wrote was about their libraries, or about their information centers that they have. For example, for the new school, I talked about how they have these centers that are specific to, each course of study that you want to do. Like they have like sewing rooms, they have like machinery that you can use, things like that. You talk about the library, you talk about what's around the school, you talk about the neighborhoods. Like you want to get in specific details, and you want to talk about how you'll be an asset to the school. Like they have so many people that are applying to their schools, you know, every year, that you want to stand out. You want to tell them like why you would be a good asset to their school, why you'd be a good student. Like not just because maybe you're talented, but like maybe you like you're passionate about helping out the community, or maybe you've done like charity work, or you know, you've done volunteer work, stuff like that. Like show that you're a good person, or show like your hobbies and things like that, and you know, stuff like that. Another thing, so yeah, do a lot of research on their websites, look at all the little details, look at the groups that they have, you know, such as like volunteer groups or just like extracurricular things. Talk about that in your essays. Like I said, talk about how you'll be valuable to the school. What was I gonna say? I was doing so good. Oh, your portfolio. So actually, before I talk about the portfolio, continuing with the application, YouTube will be a really good friend. I looked up so many YouTube videos on the schools that I was applying to. So I looked up, like, for example, like the new school, what I wrote for my essays. And you can listen to other people's essays and you can hear what they wrote, hear the mistakes that they made so you won't make those mistakes, hear like what they could have done better so maybe you can do the same thing, and that will, you know, give you a step up. A lot of people make videos about like about their first year experience, or like maybe after they graduated from that school, like all those 4 years, and they tell you what you learned. That way you can see what you'll be expecting from that school, because maybe it seemed like a perfect fit for you, but then when you actually get to the school, maybe you don't like it as much as you thought, and that would suck a lot. So watching other people's experiences and hear them talk about, you know, their experiences and what they could have done better, or things like that. Like, it's really good to hear those other perspectives. And yes, everyone's different, so maybe like their experience won't be the same as yours, but it's still good to hear, you know, the other experiences people have had. So definitely YouTube comments, like look in the comments of their videos, because a lot of people share like their stories, or they have questions that maybe you also have the same question and like the creator answered it, that maybe they didn't answer it in the video but they answered it in the comments. So definitely look at the comments, because there was a video I watched and they had a lot of questions, and not even the creator, like just a random viewer answered like so many questions for me, because they went to that school also, and they were so helpful. So definitely YouTube is good. Also, some schools have their own YouTube channel, like, or on the school's website, they have videos about what the people who read the essays and, you know, who do the interviews are looking for and what they're expecting in people who are applying. And they literally give you tips and tricks. Like, they give you the answers of, like, you know, almost 100% guaranteed of, you know, making it into that school based off of what they're looking for. So if you're paying attention, which is why I said the website will be your best friend, because you'll find these things on there, and, you know, you'll literally have like the map of what they're looking for. So that's definitely something you should look up. So how I decided on a school. So I wrote a pros and cons list for the schools that I was looking at. And that definitely helps, because when you're looking at all these schools and there's so much information going on in your head, and, you know, like all these opinions and all these videos to watch, and you're tired and it's stressful, like writing things down, seeing it on a piece of paper, it clears up so much space in your head, and you can really see and focus. And sometimes your opinions change, like literally overnight. Like, you might have been like, oh my gosh, this is my number one school I want to go to, and then the next day, like when you look back at that pros and cons list, you're like, you know, maybe this isn't the best thing for me, like maybe I should keep looking. So definitely writing a pros and cons list helped a lot. So that was one of the ways that helped me choose a school. Definitely look at the tuition costs, because college is really expensive. Like, it's really expensive for no reason. And you know what? College isn't for everybody either. And sometimes I just wonder, maybe college isn't for me, but then again, we're already here, so New York has a lot of opportunities, so it's already happening. I'm excited. I'm not saying that's scary, guys, but college isn't for everybody, so really think about that. Is your field necessary for school or not? Maybe not. I don't know. But definitely look at the tuition costs. That was a big factor for me when it came to deciding schools. Maybe distance too for some people. Like, some people, like, they go to school like literally across the country and it's fine for them, but distance might be a consideration. For me, it kind of was, but kind of wasn't. Like, New York is literally not that far from where I live. But also, like, I know some parents are, Oh, and also, like, another factor is definitely, like, how many opportunities a school can give you. Like, you want to make sure that the school you choose has a lot of opportunities to get, like, internships, to get jobs where they have, like, guest speakers, or if they have, like, a lot of equipment. Like, you want to see what the campus has available to you, how far away the campus is from, like, other buildings, or just, like, stores in general. Like, you want to see what kind of neighborhoods are around you, because you want to make sure you feel safe when you're at school, when you're leaving school. If it has a lot of jobs available nearby, because you're definitely going to want to work if you're going to be going to college as well, unless your parents are paying for it. I don't know. But those are definitely factors for me when it came to deciding schools. Money was definitely, like, I'd say the biggest thing, money. And you want to make sure it has your major, obviously. Like, you want to make sure also, another thing, going back to the whole website, look at the itinerary, because a lot of the schools, like, show the itinerary, or just kind of like a little summary of what they will be teaching based on that subject. So that's something you should definitely look out for. Am I missing anything? I don't know. Okay, so I think that's all I really had for today's video. It's kind of a short video, but yeah. If you want me to make more school-related videos, which I definitely will, even if you don't want me to, because I still will. But I'm definitely gonna do, like, dorm room tours, dorm room decorating videos, vlogs, day in the life type of things, when school starts. If you want me to do a portfolio tour, I'd gladly do that. If you have any specific questions that you would like me to answer in another video, or just in the comments, I can do that. I'm still fairly new at this, so I probably won't have all the answers, but I can definitely kind of help you, direct you to someone who might. Yeah, and maybe after that year is done of school, I can do a video about how my experience was. But I think I got everything down. But yeah, I'm really excited. Good luck to everyone who's applying to art schools, or just schools in general. Congratulations to anyone who's graduated high school or college. I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you want, or don't. I'll probably make more art videos. Definitely have to make a video about updating the whole dress situation. Yeah, it's kind of not going that great. My sewing machine's still broken. Hand sewing is very tiring, and I have fabric all over my floor, so yeah. Eventually you'll see me on the big screen, guys. Peace.